Hello and welcome to the Three Rivers Festival Waiter and Waitress Contest. I am Frank Mazzella along with Larry Stretch Hoffman. Larry Hoffman, a big server, 35 plus years with big awards. The 2006 Big Daddy's Barbecue Server Champion, the 2009 Garçon Open Champion, the 2010 Garçon Open Runner-Up, the 2013 Pizza Pie on the Run Champion, and 2014 he was named in the Dish Magazine Waiter of the Year. Welcome, Larry Stretch Hoffman. What are we going to look for here today?
We're going to look for some intense competition, and hopefully all of these servers will remain with their dignity intact and their anger in check.
Here's the rules and regulations for today's competition. Part 1, each team must consist of 3 members.
We have hosts, servers, and bussers. They are no longer considered busboys because it is demeaning.
All participants must work in a full-service restaurant. No flea market workers.
None of this behind-the-counter buffet style.
Rule 3, team members must wear the same uniform. If not, they'll get a 50-second penalty.
In other words, no flashy badges.
Rule 4, each team must designate a team captain responsible for their team.
Competition will be judged on speed and accuracy of the table settings.
Rule 6, teams advancing to the next round will be selected based on the fastest times. Okay, Larry, here's a little recap on the rules. What part of the rules are the teams going to have problems with?
I believe they're going to have problems with accuracy and intensity.
Here's the course layout, starting at the staging area. Then each team has to slalom around the tables to reach the judges for serving.
And these judges are ready to judge. They're ready to make someone feel like they wish they had a better job and finished college.
And here's how the dinner round goes. The host sets the table, the server serves the food, the busser clears the table, the dinner must be served French service, and the bell must be rung at the end. In all your years of serving, Larry, tell us about what the worst food or drink drop on a customer you had.
Well, I personally never make a mistake and never have, but a hot coffee in someone's face is always going to be great, especially because of the pain it inflicts and the screaming.
We'll be right back here at Three Rivers Waiter and Waitress Competition. And let's meet the teams. Here's the BJ Bazookas, Caleb, Tabitha, and Brianna. And for the Connors Corkscrew, it's Jenny, Lily, and Cleo. And for the Johnny O's, Sean, Jeremy, and Michaela. The Boathouse Goons are Rainier, Zofia, and Daniel. And the Texas Two-Steppers, Leighton, Aaron, and Ariana. The Junk Ditchies are Alex, Alina, and Sam. And for the Factory Flash, Ashley, Logan, and Corden. All right, we're ready for race 1 as the Junk Ditchies. Race 1, Junk Ditchies in the left lane, and in the right lane, the Johnny O's. All right, both teams are about ready to go here in race 1. The Ditchies on the left, the Johnny O's on the right. They slalom between the tables.
Ditchies have a lead.
Plates are going down quickly. Bowls in the other lane.
She's trying to catch up time, and she's looking like she's going to fumble.
Here comes the goblets now.
Oh, dear.
There's a fumble with the goblet.
Goodness
That's going to
gracious.
cost some time. Here comes the silverware. The Johnny O's putting down the silverware. Now the Junk Ditchies putting down the
Oh!
There goes a fork there, Larry.
Unfortunately, 5-second rule does not apply at a restaurant because they saw you drop it.
She just lost her grip on the fork and got forked there as that hit the floor. Both teams working around the table. The hosts going back for the switch. Both teams doing switches to their server. The server will come out now with Salad.
And this is intended to be French service. I don't believe they understand what that means, but that's okay.
Larry, you ever see anybody serve in sandals?
I would never want to see someone's foot because it's disgusting.
Both teams working the water right now. The Salad is being worked by the Junk Ditchies and the water by the Johnny O's right now. Do you like to go counterclockwise or clockwise around the table there, Larry?
I go counterclockwise, but I can go either way because that's the way I roll.
The Ditchies working the water around the goblets around the table here. Now the Johnny O's dished it on a plate instead of a bowl. That's going to be costly, Larry.
She will not get an entree now because she has no plate to serve it on.
So the server will run and slalom back to the busser on the Ditchy side. The Johnny O's still working the server side. And here comes the busser for the Ditchies.
And the busser needs tray jack technique training.
Now the server goes back for the Johnny O's, and the busser comes out for the Johnny O's.
I'm seeing a lot of water on that table. Just an observation.
So the busser for the Junk Ditchies loading up his plate to bring that stuff back, and the busser for the Johnny O's working around the table. Oh, there goes a goblet.
He's going to lose points for that.
What happened there, Larry?
It looks like he's not carrying it the correct way. You would never carry a tray jack and a tray at the same time.
And there goes another goblet.
It looks like the other team is gaining some time.
This will be a photo finish as both bussers are running back to ring that bell. It looks like the Junk Ditchies came in first place and the Johnny O's in second place in that heat.
And a round of unsanitary high fives for everyone.
Here's race 2, lane 1. The Boathouse Goons taking on the Texas Two-Steppers in lane 2. Well, in lane 1, the Boathouse Goons are in the Daisy Dukes.
Uniforms are atrocious, but the mustache is fantastic.
Larry, in the old days when you made an error serving on a table, they throw you back in the stock room. You know anything about that?
Well, in my day, it wasn't necessarily a stockroom. It was the old garbage dump where the bussers and dishwashers smoked cigarettes.
And they're off. The Boathouse Goons in lane 1 and the Texas Two-Steppers in lane 2. They slalom through the tables as the host puts down the plates.
It would be really nice if the trays were actually set up correctly instead of just dishes downwards.
And the host for the Goons is leaning across the table. Doesn't look proper to me. What's your thoughts, Larry?
It's great if you'd like to accentuate your back hair. Otherwise, it's weird.
Larry, when you use the tongs on the buns, you like a hard bun or a soft bun?
I like it hard.
And they're off to the server now as the Goons have their server out there. Still the host out there for the Texas Two-Steppers. He finds his way around the table, still has to get back. Right now he does get back. As you see the host getting back for the Texas Two-Steppers and hands it off to the server. Right there you have the Goons, the server going around the table. All right, the Goons about ready to dish out the salad French service wise, so they are doing that correctly.
It's known facts that you having a goatee will let you use French service correctly.
The Goons are going back. The server's got his plate loaded and he's slaloming back. Still dishing out the salad is the Texas Two-Steppers, and out comes the busser for the Boathouse Goons as she's coming in hot to the judges to clear off that table. Going back is the server for the Texas Two-Steppers. Out comes the busser. He misses a table on the slalom, but he's ready to clean up that table moving quickly for the Boathouse Goons as she works her way around the table. Still has to pick up the goblets. She picks up the final goblets off the table. The busser for the Texas two-steppers getting the silverware off the table as the Boathouse Goons ring the bell on their final busser run back. Looks like they're going to win this match, Larry. And there's the Taco. He's all over the place. He's got a quick grin on him. Never seen a walking Taco this much in one day, but he's back. We'll be right back here on ESPN 8, the Ocho. We're back here on ESPN, the Ocho, the waiter and waitress serving competition. Here's some of the highlights from earlier during the lunch competition. Tell me a little bit about your pizza pie on the run championship in 2013, Larry.
Well, as you know, I can spin a tray like the best of them, and pizzas are very similar to that. So I use those techniques in my competition, and by doing so, I was able to amaze the judges with my intense but accurate technique of spinning and carrying pizzas.
Beautiful, slinging pie.
Slinging the pies.
As you see the server giving out the buns, there's a half bun. You ever give out a half bun, Larry?
My life is a half bun.
Working around the table. And you see another server from the lunch. There goes the plastic glasses.
She's frazzled.
The whole thing's a mess right now.
I like the way she's laughing through it, though, which is great because it's going to get really bad for those people in the kitchen when she goes back there and screams their head off. And finally, a proper tray carrying technique. This is the first time I have seen this. That is the way you carry a tray, young man.
So
Good
he's getting an A+ from Larry, the server.
Yes.
In race 3, in lane 1, the BJ Bazookas, and in lane 2, Connor's Corkscrews. Connor's Corkscrews with their 3 trainers right there, about ready to go. As you see the BJ Bazookas getting all set up for the beginning of this race. Larry, the Connor's Corkscrew, each individual has their personal trainer. What about you? You have a personal trainer?
I have a Chihuahua at home that is considered my personal trainer, and he doesn't really like me.
And he doesn't come to work either.
No.
There's the Connor Corkscrews on the left and the BJ Bazookas on the right. There's a loose goblet right there.
Boing, oing, oing, oing.
That one went double over. What happens when that happens to you, Larry?
It never happens to me, but when it happens to other people, they generally just laugh it off and go back in the kitchen and cry.
As you see the corkscrews right there with the silverware. What's the proper way to lay your silverware, Larry?
I believe not the way they're doing it, but generally you set it down with precision, maybe blade inwards, and not running around crazy.
Do you like doing the silverware on each side of the plate or one side?
I like it on both sides. I like the knife on the left and the fork on the right.
So you're ready on either side. You'll go either way. If you need a knife, you need a fork, you need a spoon, you need a teaspoon, whatever.
That's right. As you said earlier, I go both ways.
And the server is out for both teams.
Oh, he's looking good.
Right there.
He's looking composed. That's not very composing.
Connor's Corkscrew putting down the water right now in the goblets. Now the salad. Let's see if this is dished out properly.
Salad all over the table. Ooh, again.
That's another dirty mess.
He had me until then.
Now the cleanup as the busser's out there for the Connor Corkscrew as she cleans up quickly. Still dishing out the salad. I think he thinks he's in real life and speed has nothing to do with this contest. The bazooka server slaloms back for the trade-off to the busser, and now the busser for the corkscrews slaloms back to the finish line to ring the bell as they took a huge lead and close this out. So the BJ Bazookas are still cleaning up the table.
As you can tell, he's already lost, so he's just taking his time.
As you see, one of the judges actually laughing at the BJ Bazookas on how bad they got beat by the corkscrew team.
The shame is great. You can tell he's really, really hitting him hard.
It's a weird way to clean a table there, Larry. Just pile everything in the middle and then pick it up.
Tilt the table, stick it all on there.
The old pull the tablecloth off trick.
Again, he's almost carrying the tray right.
He looks very proper going back to the finish line, but he's about 10 minutes late. Not too good for the BJ Bazookas. Outstanding performance for the Connors Corkscrew as they look tough to beat here. In race 4 on the left, the Texas Roadhouse Renegades versus the Factory Flash team in lane 2. Bill leads the Texas Roadhouse Renegades. Bill is a father of 2. He also speaks fluent cat. So we'll see what he has to lay out here in this big match. One of these two teams is going to have to come up big in order to finish on the top here today. They're off right now as both teams slalom around the tables. The Factory Flash arrived to the judges first. Texas Roadhouse now getting their goblets out. Factory Flash working around the table as she moves her goblets. Oh, a goblet got away from her, Larry.
Did you see that kick? It served no purpose, but it looked really good.
As she still works around the judges, that did not affect her one bit. She got a little bit animated there with the kick, which adds to her tip a bit. Now she goes back to do the switch off with the server. The server for the Factory Flash comes out quickly, slaloms around the tables.
Bringing that salad hot. Not actually hot, but you know what I mean.
Texas Roadhouse now going back to switch off for their server. The elderly man doesn't want croutons in his salad. I think that's what he's saying to her. You do small talk, Larry, at all, or just ask weird things?
A little of both. Anything that I think might enhance my tip.
Texas Roadhouse now working the water in the goblets around the table, and so is the Factory Flash, as the Texas Roadhouse actually put their water down first instead of their salad, and the Factory Flash put down their salad first and their water second. So I don't know if that's going to cost any time or any problems, but the Factory Flash is now out with their busser.
Well, you would always put the water out first.
So an error looked like by one of the teams there, putting out the salad first and then the water, and both bussers are out there right now. Factory Flash picking up all the silverware. Is there a better way to pick up that silverware off the table, Larry?
Well, generally you can just put a tray and just kind of swoop it over with your hand, but I would never do that in front of people.
You ever tilt the table with a tray there?
Yes.
And now the Texas Roadhouse. Busser works his way back, slaloms between the tables, and he had a big leak at the end there just before taking out the bell, and that's going to cost him some time too.
And that's going to cost him a lot of dignity as well.
We'll be right back on ESPN 8, the Ocho. Here's the final scores. Connor's corkscrew coming in at 2 minutes and 18 seconds. The Boathouse Goons had a 3-second advantage over the corkscrews, but they were penalized. They came in second. And in third, the Texas Two-Steppers with a time of 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Tell us about tonight's victory.
It was exciting. Everyone who competed in my team were never competed before. But we got trained by the Connors Rock Stars. They are the veterans. They've done it for 5 years, so we had some good coaching going on for sure.
Tell us what your thoughts were before this even started.
I was just ready to win. I think we all were. We practiced for a couple days. We did relay races to practice. We timed ourselves to figure out which set on the relay we were best at, and I think it showed tonight.
Did you get more confidence as the races went on?
Yes, I feel like we went the fastest without the spills. I think we would have done better, but we still did really good.
There you have it. Connor's corkscrew is the winner here today. Larry, any final thoughts on today's competition?
Well, it was a hard-fought competition, and personal trainers, I think, really put them over the edge.
Well, Larry, it looks like those trainers came in handy for them as they win the championship. I am Frank Mazzola along with Larry Stretch Hoffman saying keep your goblets up and your fork on the table and good serving to you.